Hey guys, today we are making a tier list for Tears in the Kingdom. I have bought the game on release date and I have beaten the game, so I pretty much know every single boss in the game, apart from one which is somehow Frox. So like and subscribe if you want to. More Tears of the Kingdom content coming out soon. Yeah, let's get into it. Okay, the easiest is probably Yonobo. His attacks get really repetitive, but at least he can do damage. But it's just a little bit weird. It takes 3 shots, even with a tree branch or something. Like the attacks don't, the weapon doesn't make a difference. So that's why I am putting him last. Okay, this one is probably a bit controversial, but I chose Kagera for the next one because Kagera is just really easy. You don't need a weapon at all to defeat Kagera. All you have to do is just fly into the crystals, which is the best way to do it. I know some people used arrows, but just dive through it and you'll be fine. The second phase is slightly more challenging with the tornadoes though, but till he the only real time when he's a threat is when he dives up. All you have to do though is just glide out of the way. Okay, next one is Hinox. So Hinox is just quite easy. All you have to do is hit his eye with an arrow and then just attack him a lot. Especially if you have really good weapons late game, he just becomes really a breeze. So yeah, Hinox is that one. Okay, next up is Maragia. Maragia is really quite simple, so all you have to do is just ride on it on the plane and then just use Yunobo. It's like a good introduction, really. It's just easy, but at least Maragia fires its lava balls at you. So yeah, Maragia is next. Okay, the next one is the Battle Talus. The Battle Talus is more difficult than the rest because it can fire boulders at you and knock you off the top to stop you getting its weak spot. The Igneo and Frost Talus are really a lot more difficult. The Battle Talus is a lot harder, but you can just use a Mullibet on the Talus to knock away all of the enemies on it. And also, um, it's also hard because it can just put its weak spot in places that will make it really hard for you to hit it, like underneath it or on the side. So yeah, that now that's pretty much a more difficult boss that we're getting on to now. Okay, next up is Stalnox, pretty much a harder version of Anihinox. At the start, he is slightly easy. Then he gets harder, sort of like a second phase. He starts throwing rocks and stuff at you, his own limbs. And then for the final few shots, you have to try chase down his eyeballs, sort of like Mataraku we're gonna get into later. So yeah, he's quite a difficult boss. Next up is Sludge Like. He's sort of hard, but he's not too hard. The thing about Sludge Like really is that you have to use silence ability at all times, because splash fruit are sort of the rarest type of fruit. So yeah, it's quite a good battle that you have to strategize in. So yeah. Now, some of you might be confused why I put the Demon Dragon up so high. The reason is that when you land on the Demon Dragon, it actually damages you with gloom damage. So he is a bit of a threat. Being honest, I would have liked him to be a bit harder because I would have liked Demon King Ganondorf's final stage to be harder than Dark Beast Ganon, but yeah. So he's going there. He can also shoot gloom balls at you, which is slightly challenging. And then his unpredictability on where he's gonna go is also hard. Okay, next up is the Flux Construct, which is quite a hard boss, I gotta say. Because Flux Construct 3 constantly changes where the weak spot is. So it's really hard to get the right one. Like every 2-3 seconds, when you finally try to get a snipe in, he changes the where the weak spot is. So you have to be really patient with this boss to just wait until it gets into its best position to attack it. So yeah, that's quite a hard boss. Okay, next is Molduga. Molduga was easier in Breath of the Wild than in Tears of the Kingdom because you had the remote bombs. With the remote bombs, you could throw them without them blowing up. Now, it's a lot harder because now instead you have bomb flowers, and bomb flowers explode upon impact of something. So it's really difficult to finally get to its weak spot. But I say once you get like a few hits in, it'll be quite easy. Okay, next up is Marbled Goma. Marbled Goma is quite difficult because of just the sheer amount of HP he actually has. Like, it's quite a good use of Yunobo's charge. The explosive marbled rock he shoots out can also be a bit of a challenge to escape, because it forces you to use your Nobo to get out unless you want to be risky and climb out. But of course, that makes a delay for when you can use it. Your Nobo's ability again. So, yeah, quite a difficult boss, and now we are actually going into the hard range. Okay, we're starting off in Mugdawak, but he's only really hard because he's such a sheer annoyance. He just likes constantly swims through the sludge, which makes it really annoying to catch him in the low grav. But at least you get bullet time. Meanwhile, in the rematches in the depths, there's no low gravity, no bullet time. You can't jump over his sludge wall that's racing towards you. He just becomes the most annoying tin in the depths rematches. But like, the only reason he's hard is because of his constant movements and him just not being accessible, really. Next up, we have Seized Construct. Now, Seized Construct is like a cool boss battle for Minoru, but like, it just is kind of like defend all the time, then use an elemental um, emitter, and then bam, you got him in the wall, and then bam, you have pretty much beat him. The second stage is a lot harder because he can fly, and that makes him a bit annoying. Not as annoying as Muxrock. This one is more skill than luck, to be honest. Okay, next is Master Koga. Master Koga is easy in the first one, then the plain one is just plain really, really hard. Because he constantly tries bombing you, and like it gets really annoying eventually. But if you use your Zona devices right and you have a good amount of arrows, you can take him down. Then the boat one is easy. Then comes the mech one. Now, if you have Minoru, it's pretty much a rematch of the Seized Construct. However, if you have don't have Minoru, then he can be a real challenge, because you have to constantly move out of the way, and then he tries to knock you, then he traps you with the two lasers. So yeah, he's quite a challenge. Next up is Gliok, King Gliok in number 3. He is really, really hard. Like, you have to The updraft spot is cool, also the icicle spot. You have to constantly hit them in the eye to actually get a chance of beating them. The drops are really good though, like the horns are amazing. But yeah, he's a really hard boss, so like if you want to have a hard challenge, go find yourself a Gleok slash King Gleok. Really, really good boss. Next up is Queen Gibdo. And if you battle Queen Gibdo, then you have experienced absolute hell. Queen Gibdo is just pretty much the hardest boss, even harder than Thunderblight Ganon, in my opinion. So you have to be really careful of what you do against Queen Gibdo. The final phase is cool because the Gibdos fly out of the nests. Then you can destroy them and use light as sort of like a protection barrier. Then Queen Gibdo's flying, which really tests out your archery skills. So yeah, Queen Gibdo in number 2. It's the big man himself in number 1, Demon King Ganondorf. I can see why he's a final boss. He's just really difficult to beat. So all you really have to do is Flurry Rush, and his second phase is even more difficult. Then you have the Phantom Ganons chasing you as well. Here's a tip, just focus on Demon King Ganondorf. Because then once you get to that third phase, then they will all disappear. But also, he can take away permanent HP, which means that you cannot use Sunny Dishes to recover, even that. So be really careful around him. But like his transformation into the demon dragon is sort of off, I guess. So yeah. Thank you for watching the video, and subscribe if you want to. More content's coming out soon. Bye.